MMA Now, powered by Film On TV Network.
You're listening to Game Night with Matt Perrault on Yahoo Sports Radio and YahooSportsRadio.com. Back to Legacy Stadium, inside the Palazzo Las Vegas. Everything going down on your sports night. Here is Matt Perrault.
It is a Friday night in Las Vegas. Game Night with Matt Perrault, Yahoo Sports Radio, coming to you live from Legacy Stadium inside the Palazzo Broadcast Studio, where we have David Kano, who has single-handedly, his Twitter feed and Twitter retweets have caused amazing amounts of traffic on Yahoo Sports Radio in their Twitter feed from MMA Now TV. David, welcome. How are you?
How you doing? Finally in the studio.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you face to face. I have to ask, because Joe George and Joe is back in Houston, your fan base is unbelievable. How have you guys been able to build up the level of just amazing amounts of interaction in social media? When you tweet anything to do with us, it is literally like a 2-day, 100 to 200 retweets, phenomenal amounts of exposure. How have you guys built up that fan base?
Well, I think one of the things is when we joined Film On TV Network, it's the largest digital TV in the world. They get about 2 billion views a month. And so about 70 million of those are unique visitors. So my little 200, 300 retweets are pale in comparison to their numbers, but it's still good.
It's amazing number. Traffic. It really is.
I got to say, the fans are great. The people that tweet to me, they either hate me or love me. There's really like no in between. They're like, oh, you're the scum of the earth. Or they're like, oh, we love you. We love what you have to say. I mean, and it's great. It's great interacting with some of the fans. I don't get back to a lot of them because some of them I have to block. But no.
The mute button's a wonderful thing on Twitter.
Right.
Why would they be angry with you? Where does that come from?
I think fans in MMA and boxing, they're so adamant and they're very passionate. It's unlike any other sport. And when we talked about this before, about this, MMA being it's a fight, boxing is a fight. And the fans are the same way. They're really passionate about who they stand up for. And if you say something bad about their fighter, then and not something bad, but just constructive criticism or criticism of any kind.
Yeah, David Kano joining us live here in studio, MMA Now TV. Well, let's talk about today, because I watched the press conference. I wasn't there, but I watched it, and I couldn't believe how much energy and how much interest there is in 200 when 197 is tomorrow. All the energy, all the attention, all the heat is on 200. It's in 3 months, and it's amazing. I mean, I'm not saying that nobody cares about tomorrow. We'll talk about it, obviously, but Are you surprised at how much is going on here with 200 with 197 tomorrow?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I think I tweeted even as of Tuesday once Conor McGregor shocked the world like I'm retiring young, and everyone was like, stop what they were doing. And to me, it was he upstaged John Jones. It's the return of John Jones, whether it's Cormier or not. It was still the Conor McGregor show.
Yeah.
And like you said, UFC 200 kind of stole the show today.
It is, I think, a big mistake what the UFC is doing with Conor McGregor. And we referenced it in the first hour of the program, but we've seen other athletes like Marshawn Lynch with the NFL who've had big problems with promotional, big problems with talking to the media, and we've seen fines. We haven't seen you're not in the event. Football players play football. Fighters fight. I get that you have to sell the fight, but are you of the opinion that Dana White is doing the right thing by holding a line here, or is he making a mistake with his biggest draw?
You know what's funny is my mom. She's big into MMA now. Like I've been covering the profession for the past 3 years, and she said that this is a chess match. A few days ago, and I said that too. And to me, to answer your question regarding Dana White, him and Conor are kind of they're playing this just chess match. And Dana's really smart. The promotion that Conor's giving the UFC is unbelievable. I mean, SportsCenter, Yahoo, Fox, they're all covering this because of Conor McGregor. And now Dana, the seat's empty at the press conference. It's just more build and more hype. And he's saying, oh, he's off this card, he's off the card. But there's no one there yet. It's empty. So
what you're saying is until it actually is filled, until there's someone sitting in that seat. And Nate Diaz said today that he doesn't want anybody else in that seat. Right. He wants to fight Conor, or in his words, he's going on vacation. That then we should worry about the fight. Worry about Conor not being in 200.
Right, because I think this is more promotion for the UFC, for the fans. I mean,
free promotion.
I mean, and Conor's right. I mean, he did what, $400 million in 8 months, and he got all in a single tweet, and then the follow-up. Actually, his Facebook post was interesting to my wrap-up yesterday.
Yeah.
It read like a honors college student. He had an intro, a conclusion, and a body, and I was like, this is really good.
Yeah. Now, did he write it himself? We'll see. But
what do you think? Do you think he writes his own?
I think he helps. I think like anybody else. I think he has a publicist who will then go ahead and help to kind of fine tune what he's saying. But I think the emotion is him. I think the energy and the anger and the genuine feeling of I fight, I don't get paid to go to New York, Vegas, to Stockton, to wherever else you're trying to fly me around to promote this fight. That's going to take me away from, well, the guy that I was in against that beat me. And I want to be as far away on this, as focused as possible. And if you think about it, how amazing is this? This is like, and I think Deadspin, I'll give them credit for this because I read something on Deadspin today that I thought was pretty wild, that Conor McGregor has given the UFC something that is so rare, and that is mystique. That is what is he doing? Like, where is he? What's the camp like? What will he look like when he comes back? Will he be bigger? Will he be faster? What is he trying to accomplish? And all I can think of is like Rocky. You know, when Rocky went to Russia and he's just like sitting there with the 4 feet of snow and he's got the big piece of wood on his back and he's walking through, the wilderness in Russia trying to build up his strength. That's all I'm thinking about in terms of what is going on with Conor McGregor. Why wouldn't you want that if you're the UFC? Why wouldn't you just embrace that and say, look, we're going to fine you $1 million for not showing up, but go ahead and fight? Why not?
But again, I think that this is part of the promotion. I mean,
you think it's a game? Is it a game?
I think it's so. It's a chess match.
I hope you're wrong.
A game. I truly believe. I mean, Dana White, if I was starting any type of promotion, it could be even a car dealership. I want Dana White as my sales manager, as the guy. The man, because guess what? All the cars in that lot are going to be sold. Even the rinky-dinky ones in the back, the older ones. Yeah. That's how good I think that they are at what they do. And again, I think they're doing a pretty good job of this. And obviously Nate has become a megastar from all of this. And some of the talks with him in the past, he was saying, I've been in the UFC for 9 years. I've won tough. I've fought the biggest guys. And he's right. And he never got what he deserved, and I think at this point in time, he's finally getting the recognition that he deserves.
David Kano from MMA Now TV joining us live in studio here on Yahoo Sports Radio. Is Nate being smart by playing, I think, a pretty big role by saying, I'm not fighting anybody else. I'm not even entertaining the idea. I'm fighting Conor, and kind of putting some pressure on the UFC to figure out what's going on with Conor?
Yes, it's a little tag team match. I mean, you have Nate saying, I'm only fighting him. Conor's like, well, I'll still fight. Because I think Nate, too, understands who's the bigger fight. I mean, you bring on Robbie Lawler, big fight, not as big. You bring on GSP, that's a pretty big fight, but Conor is still the bigger fight. And part of the reason I thought, what I wish someone would have asked was, Nate, would you think Conor was scared to come to Stockton? Because on the 3-city tour, I remember Conor saying, I've never heard of Stockton in my life. I'm like, well, I don't know if you would want to say that. And he said, well, there's snitches and canaries in Stockton. Well, I've been up to Stockton a few times, and let me tell you, you just want to fly under the radar. You don't want to come in on your white horse.
Yeah, and really anger the people there as well. So I'm fascinated by this story, and we'll do it in the next segment. We'll make some predictions for 197. But has this hurt 197 in your mind?
What hurt 197 was Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't John Jones doing it. It wasn't Ovince St. Preux. It was once Cormier stepped out. And I thought even Rumble might take the fight, but he had some dental work done and couldn't take the fight. But OSP, I mean, I like OSP. He's a nice guy, but he's raw. He's very
in trouble.
He's a raw talent. If you see him, he has a lot of power. He's strong. But you saw Glover Teixeira fight him and finish him. His skill level is nowhere near a John Jones. So to me, you're throwing OSP in there. Does he have a puncher chance? Sure, but that's what I think hurt 197.
The picture of the two of them at the weigh-ins where OSP's wearing a hat and has a smile the size of Tennessee, and John Jones looks like a guy who's going to rip his head off. And I'm just thinking, this guy's in so much trouble. David Kano's live in studio. We'll make some predictions on what's happening. It's not just that. Mighty Mouse Johnson in the octagon again to defend his title. We'll talk about that fight and the rest of the card as we come on back live in Las Vegas on a Friday night. It's Game Night with Matt Perrault here on Yahoo Sports Radio. We are live in studio with David Kano from MMA Now TV, joining us to talk UFC 197 and UFC 200. This has been a lot of fun for us because, well, this guy's Twitter following is amazing. We love whenever he retweets our stuff. But let's talk about the card tomorrow for 197. And Anthony Pettis and Edson Barboza, everyone's telling me that's the fight of the night. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think actually our MMA Now correspondent Brian Shepard said that this might be the fight of the night. These two guys, they don't like each other. You can see, and I think, can you imagine, Anthony Pettis is on a 2-fight losing streak. If he loses another one,
bye-bye.
What happens?
Yep.
He was Wheaties, UFC champ. He was a poster boy, and now he's third on the main card.
And could be out with 3 straight losses. I mean, depending on what the UFC does.
Yeah, I don't think he would be out, but it's like he even said, what happens if I lose? Where does his career go from there?
Mm-hmm. And you've got a very athletic Barboza as the underdog, but a guy who has had some pretty spectacular performances in the octagon before. And Demetrius Johnson and Henry Cejudo is interesting because you have a former Olympic wrestler and you've got Mighty Mouse, but I think most people think that Mighty Mouse, he hasn't lost. I mean, this is his division. They created the weight class and he's been dominant in it from day one. And everyone, including myself, thinks John Jones and OSP is a pretty quick matchup. So if you're looking for upsets or you're looking for really entertaining fight of the night type quality fights, it seems like Pettis Barboza is our best shot. Yeah. I
would go there, or even, I mean, like you said, the Henry Cejudo. I mean, a lot of people are counting him out. I'm not saying he's going to win, but if anyone in the flyweight division is going to do it, it's going to be Cejudo.
Does he get Mighty Mouse on the ground? Because if you look at how he has to win, you would think that his wrestling over Mighty Mouse will be the difference. Got to get a hold of him, got to get him on the ground, and got to submit him, because I don't think he's going to knock Mighty Mouse out.
I don't think they're going to knock each other out, and it's going to be interesting to see because of the wrestling styles. You have the Olympic gold medalist, freestyle wrestler, but then you have Mighty Mouse, probably the best MMA wrestling in the flyweight division. It's a lot like GSP, where GSP wasn't a wrestler in high school or college, but he just became this phenom in MMA wrestling, and there's a big difference being in the cage and being on a mat. So it's kind of interesting to see if their wrestling will kind of knock each other out or cancel each other out.
It's interesting because of the UFC's international appeal and the Mexico City card that's coming up down the road. I mean, that's a huge opportunity here for Cejudo. If he would be the champion of the flyweight division, that sets up a really big payday for him down the road, and he would become, he already is a big star in Mexico, but he'd become a gigantic star in Mexico, which obviously helps the UFC there.
Well, I think because Demetrius Johnson too, he's a champ he's a quiet champ.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk any crap. He doesn't talk any mess. He goes about business as usual, and I think a lot of fans, they'll never throw the flyweights on a main event and a pay-per-view. They just don't sell. He's not selling, and it's not his fault per se. That's just his personality. He's a great family guy. Would you not want someone to look up to Demetrius Johnson? But yet, as a fight fans, he's not talking crap to someone else. He's not saying, I'm going to kill you type thing.
Well, it's also interesting because we're talking to David Kano live in studio. What's interesting, too, is that I love the UFC and the behind-the-scenes videos that they get with the guys that really humanize them. And you see that with Demetrius Johnson. You see him at home. You hear his wife say, okay, I understand I have to take on with the kids and I got to take on a bigger burden during fight preparation and whatnot. But that's really, I think it's such an interesting thing because we don't get that really in other sports where we're really seeing what these guys go through just to get to the main event, just to get to the fight.
Right, and he's a huge gamer, too. I don't know if you saw that. He's on Twitch, and I'm not a fan. I don't play video games anymore. I don't.
You grew up.
I can't. Right. And it's weird. And then you see the size of them, and it's just like skill level is great, but you play video games and you're a great family guy, but I can't really relate to you.
All right, let's make some predictions. We'll just do the pay-per-view card in the Rodriguez-Fili fight. Who do you like?
That's a pretty good fight. Rodriguez, though, he's coming up. I'm going to pick Rodriguez to take Fili out, even though I think Fili's a great talent as well.
Whitaker and Natal?
I'm going to go with Natal on that one.
Ooh, underdog pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Natal. I know Whitaker from Australia. He's going to be representing, but I'm going to go with Natal.
Barboza Pettis.
Woo.
putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I think Anthony Pettis is hungry and he's gonna grind this one out. I don't think Barbosa's wrestling. He's not gonna wrestle him down like RDA or Eddie Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on his feet, Pettis can stand with anybody. So I'm gonna go with Pettis.
Demetrius Johnson, Henry Cejudo.
This is the first time I'm making a prediction. I was gonna make it later today.
Oh, we get the exclusive David Kano pick.
There, deep down inside, I feel like Cejudo can get it done. I don't, but the other side is like I don't know if he can actually beat Johnson. Johnson's only been beat outside of 125. I'm gonna go with the underdog. I'm gonna go with Henry Cejudo.
Wow, Cejudo gets the new. Wow.
Who are you going with on that pick?
I'm gonna go with Demetrius Johnson on a card. I think it goes all the way to the judges, and I think he just wins because he's the champ. I just think it's so hard without seeing a tap out or a knockout to win a belt. I think the judges just naturally will go. I think Cejudo's gonna have a real good nice shot. If he gets Johnson on the ground, he'll have a shot. But I just think ultimately it'll be a point out for Johnson. Jones and Ovince St. Preux.
I'm going to go with the no.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no way.
What round?
Oh, if I went with an underdog on this, I mean, I should lose all credibility I have. But then again, there was a TJ Dillashaw, Renan Barao. You have Holly Holm. No. John Jones is going to win this fight in the second or third round.
Yeah, I'm with you. Second round. David, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Matt, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it so much.
Enjoy Vegas. Let's do it again when you come back for 200.
We'll do it. If you ever come to LA, you got to do it with us as well.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Absolutely love to. David Kano from MMA Now TV. I'm telling you, follow these guys on Twitter. They are absolutely awesome with their UFC coverage. More to come live in Vegas on a Friday night here on Yahoo Sports Radio.